Christians are one of the most persecuted groups in the world today, facing discrimination, violence, and marginalization in various forms and degrees. The reasons behind this persecution are complex and multifaceted, rooted in a combination of historical, cultural, and ideological factors. In many parts of the world, Christians are viewed with suspicion, hostility, or even hatred, leading to their exclusion from social, economic, and political spheres. One of the primary reasons for Christian persecution is the lingering impact of historical conflicts and power struggles. In the past, Christianity was often associated with colonialism, imperialism, and the imposition of Western values on non-Western cultures. This legacy of cultural and religious imperialism has left deep scars, leading many to view Christianity as a force of oppression, cultural erasure, and exploitation. As a result, Christians are often seen as outsiders, foreigners, or agents of Western powers, making them vulnerable to persecution and marginalization. Another significant factor contributing to Christian persecution is the rise of secularism and postmodernism in Western societies. As these ideologies have gained prominence, Christianity has been increasingly pushed to the margins, with many viewing it as a relic of the past or a threat to progressive values. This has led to a climate of intolerance and hostility towards Christians, particularly those who hold traditional views on issues like marriage, family, and human life. In some cases, Christians have been subjected to ridicule, discrimination, and even violence for their beliefs, with many being forced to hide their faith or suffer the consequences. In addition to these historical and cultural factors, Christian persecution is also driven by ideological and philosophical differences. In many parts of the world, Christianity is seen as a threat to dominant ideologies like Islam, communism, or nationalism. In these contexts, Christians are often viewed as enemies of the state, traitors, or agents of foreign powers, leading to their persecution and repression. For example, in countries like North Korea, China, and Sudan, Christians are subjected to forced labor, torture, and execution for their faith, with many being forced to practice their religion in secret. The media also plays a significant role in perpetuating Christian persecution, often portraying Christians in a negative or stereotypical light. By emphasizing the flaws and shortcomings of individual Christians or Christian institutions, the media creates a climate of mistrust and hostility towards Christians, fueling prejudices and reinforcing negative stereotypes. This can have serious consequences, such as the denial of human rights, economic opportunities, and social services to Christians, further exacerbating their marginalization and persecution. Furthermore, the failure of many governments and international organizations to protect Christian minorities has exacerbated the problem of persecution. In many cases, governments have turned a blind eye to violence and discrimination against Christians, or have even actively contributed to their persecution. This has created a culture of impunity, where perpetrators of violence and discrimination feel emboldened to attack Christians without fear of consequences. The international community's failure to hold governments and perpetrators accountable has only worsened the situation, allowing Christian persecution to continue unabated. In conclusion, the persecution of Christians in society today is a complex and multifaceted issue, driven by a combination of historical, cultural, ideological, and philosophical factors. The legacy of colonialism and imperialism, the rise of secularism and postmodernism, ideological and philosophical differences, media bias, and government inaction have all contributed to a climate of intolerance and hostility towards Christians. To address this issue, it is essential to promote greater understanding, tolerance, and respect for Christian minorities, as well as to hold governments and perpetrators accountable for their actions. Ultimately, the protection of Christian minorities requires a concerted effort from individuals, governments, and international organizations to promote human rights, dignity, and freedom of religion for all people, regardless of their faith or background.